add
I need to double check on that one. Did you like how it turned out?
I liked it.
It's
fine.
cool.
Yeah.
No, your editing's been awesome.
Thank you.
So, welcome back to the Daves of Our Lives. It's a podcast about whatever comes out of our mouths.
Yeah. Buckle up, folks. You're in for a wild ride.
For our new subscriber, welcome.
Oh, thank you
are.
for subscribing to the Daves of Our Lives YouTube channel.
We're only 492 people away from possible monetization. We could be rolling in the pennies in a matter of years.
Yeah, possibly a decade. This is a 10-year.
Decades.
This is a 10-year plan, Dave.
This is a long plan. Return on investment on this is negative right now.
Oh, this is out of pocket. We're operating at a loss.
We are operating at a loss. Friendship, though.
Oh, yeah.
Invaluable.
Oh, yeah. Return on investment of that.
I do have a fact check from last week.
A fact check recap?
Fact check recap. There's one thing I want to fact check myself. It was not a Nintendo Ultima 64. It's a Nintendo Ultra. I misspoke.
Nintendo Ultra, not Ultima.
Not Ultima.
I didn't even realize you said Ultima.
I did. I went back. I looked at it. I'm very embarrassed. As somebody who knows way too much about video game history.
We didn't call you out on that on the episode. That was
no. We don't live fact check.
Post fact check.
We don't live fact check.
We do. I do have all of the episodes as sources in my notebook LM now.
I know. We're gonna do an AI episode.
And
this is going to be really fun.
We don't want to do this as our segment now for fact checking.
No.
We can do it live.
Do we have any other things we want to fact check from last week?
I don't know.
I don't think there's anything else historical that needed. I mean, you could look up like a Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh,
possibly
the Monopoly rules that could be fact checked potentially.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that now?
We want to do live?
No. Let's do a fact check of like other things that we didn't fact check.
Okay.
We'll do that later. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was Brigham City Classifieds.
Oh, good. These are always fun.
This isn't super juicy, just kind of a thought on it. But how do you feel about posting religious things on the Brigham City Classified page?
I don't think I'm for it, but I don't know that I'm against it either. I'm indifferent.
How do you feel if it is negative?
If it's negative, content? Like against a religion?
Against a religion.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not for that at all.
Yeah.
Post it on your personal page, folks.
Yeah. I mean,
all you want.
Post
don't
it
care.
on your podcast. Your personal podcast.
Yeah. Be anti-religious on your podcast. I don't care.
Somebody did post something, and it was very anti one religion.
Anti the largest religion in the state, because that would
largest religion in this
would
state.
Not be surprising at all.
And I reported it because I'm like, look, you're not selling eggs.
You're not. Yeah.
Overpriced eggs. But the classified's meant to be a space to sell things. But people are using it more like a town forum, which I'm okay with in general. But I don't see the benefit of like attempting to tear other people down. If you want to talk religious things, I think it needs to be just like overwhelmingly positive. Our producer just stepped in the room.
She's the one bankrolling this.
It's an unpaid internship.
Thank you for all you do. Love you.
I don't love you as much as Dave.
You just don't love her the same way I do. You can't.
It would definitely be a different type of love.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't think I agree with you. I don't like that people will get on a public forum just to tear somebody down. It doesn't matter what the topic is. Religion, I don't know, car
I think
preference.
There is one thing.
If someone's tearing down like Dodge drivers just because they're driving Dodge, or dog owners because they own dogs, I don't like that.
Okay, what about people that do the toilet paper the wrong way?
Oh, that they need to be publicly ridiculed for sure.
Yeah, publicly ridiculed. Okay.
Yeah.
Flogged.
Wait, what's the wrong way?
Under.
The
toilet paper
underhand.
Goes over.
It has to, so you can grab it and pull down or away.
Do it under?
Down and away. No. So the roll.
Okay.
unrolls this way. So if it's toward you, it unrolls this way,
which means
not
the
this
paper,
way.
The paper's on. Yeah.
The problem with that is animals and young kids.
Our cat. Since you mentioned animals and toilet paper, we tried to potty train our cat.
No, you didn't.
10 years ago. Like 9 years ago.
Like Meet the Parents?
There's a City Kitty, not sponsored, but could be a sponsor of the episode.
We can be bought.
We can be bought. They make this thing where you put it on your toilet and then you put litter in there. So the cat will go wherever the litter is, right? And then you pop out these little holes, like in the middle, like just a little hole in the middle, because the cat doesn't need litter to go to the bathroom.
Right.
But the cat does not like doing its business and having plop plop. Freaks them out. So this gets them used to the plop plop,
the sound
of the sound, a little bit of litter, and eventually you take all the different rings out, and you get to the point where the cat will just go to the bathroom. They'll jump up.
This is a whole other world I'm not familiar with.
They don't flush because they're cats, but
they lack opposable thumbs, Greg.
They lack opposable thumbs. It's mostly an attitude thing. They're capable. Anyway, so you can pop a ring back in if they kind of regress, but we only had one toilet. There's 8 of us in the bathroom.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
We decide we're going to do this. Okay. And all the humans were being good about it. But one day we came in and the cat, there happened to be a basket of laundry sitting in the bathroom.
Oh, it went in the laundry?
Cat pooped in the laundry basket.
Stupid cats.
And unrolled the entire roll of toilet paper
because you put it in the overhand.
The City Kitty thing, a mountain of toilet paper, and peed on that.
Oh my gosh!
It was, if they had middle fingers, it would have been like a double middle finger from my cat.
Yep.
So we gave up on it, and she's a normal cat. She goes in, out.
Normal cat now, not one that uses the toilet.
Not a super cat. Pretty great cat, but
so your cat did this to the toilet paper. Did you ever have any of your kids do it?
No.
Oh, I think at least 3 of my 5 did it.
Is this something that you did as a child?
I don't know.
Okay.
Possibly.
I'm going to share something that I did in the bathroom as a child. This is one of the darkest moments of my life.
Wait.
In my defense.
Hang on. Darker than other... Like
there's no death.
Okay, there's no right. I was gonna say
this isn't dark.
You've shared some pretty dark stories.
This could definitely be embarrassing if I had any sense of social skills, social cues.
If you weren't autistic, this would be embarrassing.
If I didn't love spreadsheets so much. So apparently, when I was young, like I don't know, 3 years old, when my mom wasn't looking, I would go in her bathroom. Not my bathroom.
Okay. When she wasn't looking?
When she wasn't looking, I'd go in her bathroom.
Why when she wasn't looking?
Because I would poop, and then I would paint with the poop.
Oh, okay. All right.
On the toilet seat, on the wall. Very artistic. It was Van Gogh-like.
Sure.
I don't know why. I don't remember this, Dave. But it made my mom super unhappy. Never in my bathroom.
Can't imagine why she would be unhappy with that. It was
asked,
always in your mom's bathroom.
It was always in it was like the master bathroom. I sneak into my parents' I'm like 3 years old. And I told her, I said,
this is my canvas.
Yeah, this is my canvas. If you just got me art supplies, I just wanted some Crayola crowns, and you said no, you got me the little box, I needed the 256, and this is how a kid acts out.
I can't just 12 colors is not enough.
I know. I'd like to say I grow out of it, but every time I go over to my mom, no.
I need pictures.
I need pictures. You need my mom on the episode. She'll verify. I don't remember this. I don't know why.
There's a fact check. We need to fact check that. Dave's mom. Does she listen?
No, I don't know. My sister Becky does.
Becky
gets a shout out. She can fact check it.
Fact check that. Did Dave make art in the master bathroom? That's what we need to know.
I think we might call it fart.
Fart.
But it's a PH.
That's a little on the nose. On that topic, one of my children, I will not name names.
but their initials are...
No. We're not doing that.
I did that to the kids today. They're like, who did this? I was like, I'm not going to name names, but their initials are... And then I said the name. And they're like, you just said the name.
I will share with you after we're done recording. Remind me when we're done. This is
behind a paywall, guys.
Yes.
It's called friendship.
That's the best paywall. One of my children, when they were 2 or 3, no, they had to have been 3 or 4. 3 or 4. So they were potty trained. They one day confessed to me that, and I can't remember where we were or what was happening. They confessed to me that poop doesn't taste like anything.
You're not eating right then.
And so I was like, how do you know this?
Is this the kid that's been giving you kisses on the lips?
All of them have.
Hold on, I'm going to scoot my chair forward just a little bit. I'm like hitting the...
Oh, you're hitting the artistic mantle.
That's real.
The
That's
previous
not a
owner.
background.
The previous owner built this on their own. The wood.
That's pretty impressive.
It was pretty impressive. That's why we haven't torn it out.
So. But if you did, you'd burn it in your new...
In the solo stove.
Your solo stove.
It would go in the solo stove. So it says to me, poop doesn't taste like anything. I said, how do you know? Because I tasted it, Dad. I was like, oh.
Was it yours?
It was his.
No, that's the second question. Whose poop was this?
later, much later, found out, like just a couple of days ago, a week ago, that he wanted to see if it tasted like chocolate. So he stuck his finger in the bum and licked it. And that hit my gag reflex when he told me. I was having a hard time.
So you know how there's like toasts at weddings? This is one of those stories.
This is one of the stories that's going to come up.
I have one. I don't know if I can share it on the podcast. I might have to
chew on that for a bit.
We'll chew on that one.
We'll see.
Oh, man. Well, okay.
Parenting is a job.
Parenting is a job.
Speaking of jobs, that brings us to our topic for today.
We need to give a quick update.
Oh, yeah.
Quick update
Let's
on
go back.
the wedding present prank. So after the episode, Dave went about his normal life.
Of course.
I turned the stocking up to an 11. Never done anything like this before. But the internet is a very resourceful tool, and we needed to find out where these people lived. 20 minutes later, I had address.
20 minutes later.
I had an address.
It was not long at all.
It was not long. I had an
Dave
address.
Dave texted me, hey, I know where they live.
I also found the wife's Instagram account.
Oh,
I went on.
So you originally found their Facebook when you were at DI.
So I found their Facebook. I also found the Instagram account. The Instagram was helpful because the pictures are public.
Yes.
And so I had a Google Street View of the house. I was able to go to the Instagram account and
matched up a door picture with this Google Street View.
Well, they take pictures of their kids on their
first day of school or last day of school. Yeah.
And so I was like, yep, this definitely matches. So after I was done being creepy, Dave,
I don't think we're done being creepy.
That night.
Okay.
After I was done being creepy night.
We're still on this.
Funny, creepy adventure.
Yeah.
So then we went to our friend who happens to have an Amazon vest. And we borrowed it.
So originally you were going to mail it.
Oh, yeah. We were going to mail it. But I thought, you know what?
Let's give this a personal touch.
Let's give it a personal touch.
That's postage.
And Amazon doesn't deliver personal packages like this, which kind of adds like
more
to the funny of it.
I'll get the videos up of what we got.
Dave has videos. So what was it like when we pulled up to the house?
There were cameras
everywhere
on the house. So many cameras.
It's like a dead end road, so there was nowhere.
Yeah, there was nowhere out. There was a camera on, and so the door is north facing. So there was a camera on the east and west corners of the house. the north, east, and northwest corners of the house. So the front. And so they had their whole front yard covered, plus the doorbell. So, yeah, we pulled up. We didn't pull up to the house itself. I was wearing the Amazon vest. And
which, according to my wife, you look better as an Amazon delivery person.
It's because I have hair.
In the right places. Plenty of hair, just in the wrong places.
So my hairy-headed self, brown-skinned self,
glistening in the sun.
Yes,
bronze tan.
Bronze. Yes, I delivered the package and recorded it as if I were taking a picture of the package, like I was an Amazon delivery person, and ran.
we
from
peeled,
there.
We peeled out at 2 miles an hour. So
as to not draw attention,
yeah,
to ourselves with the terrible package.
At this point, the package has been returned to the couple with a
delivered.
note on it that says, "I thought we were friends," signed by the giver. So we're gonna wait a couple more days, and then we're gonna send a letter to the giver and a letter to the people we pranked.
There will be some kind of contact.
Some kind of contact, maybe digital.
We're
looking at options.
Pursue digital contact.
Maybe we just have like flowers delivered to the house. With a
sorry.
note. Sorry, not sorry.
We thought we were being funny.
Please don't.
Please forgive us. If you want to come on the podcast, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately our goal is to definitely hope there's an interesting backstory to this.
Yes.
We want to make new friends.
Or bring old friends back together.
Be our first guess. People we randomly
pranked.
pranked.
Maybe that will become our niche, is finding people that are estranged friends and
from
reconnecting them. Yes. This would be very, very niche content.
We'd have to go to the book section. There's all sorts of like handwritten notes.
That's
They're like,
true.
Happy birthday. It's like somebody's birthday book and you just get rid of it. Okay.
That might be more difficult if we don't have like dates and first and last names like the previous one did.
I don't know. They have the people online that sit there and they have like pictures and they go online and find where that place is.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that could be our thing.
Well, if people are already doing it.
No. But with books.
With books.
With handwritten notes in there.
Oh, man. We're going to have to get some like
skills.
Or some really advanced deep learning algorithm that can do handwritten analysis, handwriting analysis.
I feel like this is a one-off.
Anyway, this might.
I'm not going to stalk any more
it.
people from DI presents
that we know of
this year.
This may be one-off this year, but stay tuned, folks.
Next episode, we'll have
try to get some updates as to how this transpires. If it turns out they're not together.
The research that I did looked like they were together.
I agree. The research I did appeared to be the same.
And the giver appears to be alive, so no one is dead, and the couple appears to be together.
For now. Maybe this pushes them over the edge. I'd feel so bad.
Well, they could go back and listen to our divorce episode.
Yes. If this causes a rift in your marriage, please go back a couple episodes. We have a 3-episode series on our divorce, dating, and marriage, new marriage,
so
remarried.
You can learn things like what not to do.
Yeah. We've plenty of examples of how not to be.
Anyway, so today's topic, now that we've
taken care of that job,
customary like random section.
Yes, this will be random too, I'm sure.
Oh, it'll be random, but it will be like a topic of random.
Yes, on that topic being employment.
Yeah, jobs. Anything to do with jobs. Dave and I have been working for a long time.
Both in our 40s. We've had lots of jobs.
Yeah, this is like midlife. Yeah, we're going to work for the rest of our lives, Dave.
No, we won't. No, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
We're not working for the rest of our lives because we have this as a retirement plan.
Yes.
This will fund.
Was that convincing? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's what we're doing.
I think we should start a multi-level marketing scheme of podcasting.
Oh,
And
that'll
it's
be easy.
And you get 5 people to do a podcast, and then they get 5 people to do a podcast.
And
then
all you got to
eventually-
do is pay $5 to get in.
Yeah.
We'll get you set up. Don't worry. And then we'll be the top, the pinnacle.
I actually had a friend.
We're going to call it Pinnacle Podcast.
Pinnacle Podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of alliterations.
I'm getting better at those.
I had a friend who I hadn't talked to in a very long time, but life was crazy, and I messaged him and said, "Hey, do you want to come over with your family?" And we're friends on Facebook, but I haven't seen him in like 15 years.
Oh.
And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds great." Like I'm like, sorry, life's been crazy, but I got like a big enough house to like host, and it's nice. To come over, let's have barbecue, hang out, bring the kids, it'll be fun. And then like the next day he messages me and he's like, "You're not in a multi-level marketing thing, are you? Is this some sort of like come over so
We're going to sell you on Norwex or something?"
Norwex, which is fine. If that's what you do, that's you, right? But so he comes over, we eat, and I'm like, let's eat some dessert. And then I pulled out a binder and I was like, so
No, you didn't. That's hilarious.
I'm like,
Yes.
do you ever wonder where your life's going? Like, do you wake up feeling unenergized and unenthusiastic? I have an opportunity for you. Vanilla bean ice cream
Vanilla bean ice cream.
or cookies and cream.
So you were making ice cream.
No, we had ice cream.
Oh,
And
okay.
I just pulled it out like to freak him out. Like, I just want to talk to you about where you're going with your life.
If
and
you
give
could
some
get
more
if
freedom.
you could get full-time pay for part-time work.
Yeah. No, I never did that to him. Anyway, yeah,
That would
jobs.
be funny.
You wanna
Jobs.
start?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you
First
start.
job? My very first job?
Very first job.
Paper route.
You were a paper boy.
I was a paper boy. Well, technically I wasn't. Technically
Okay, fine.
I
A
subbed.
paper
Tec-
child.
technically I subbed for my brother when he was at football practice.
So you're still a paper boy.
I did the job.
You're just
He paid me for my time.
what do they call that? You're a scab.
A scab.
A non-union paper boy.
I was
worker.
non-union. Yep, I was not unionized.
Probably wasn't even legal for you to
Dude,
do it.
Newsies was my jam at that time.
Oh, I love Newsies.
Newsies was great.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know much about, did you have a paper route?
So my dad had a paper route when I was conceived.
Oh, really?
Like he was like
He was delivering papers in his
32,
30s.
working at like a brick factory, like delivering papers, working on his master's degree at the University of Texas.
And spying on the Russians all at the same time?
Not yet.
Oh,
later.
this was before
Oh,
he
no,
became
no.
a spy.
That was before.
He
I don't
did-
think I think it was before I was
This
born.
is a
He
cover.
spied.
This was a cover.
Obviously, working in a brick factory
and delivering papers.
Papers. I mean, how
Sure.
else do you get the information out?
Exactly. This was propaganda.
It probably was. It's probably not classic. We could ask Trump to release it.
Oh, I'm sure. Let's do a
Like,
FOIA request.
My dad.
How much is a FOIA request? We need these documents.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, he lit the rest of John.
Oh, yeah,
John
the
Kennedy's
JFK files.
JFK files. Like,
Super
he
interesting.
could let go of my dad's files.
Oh, yeah.
He might not know my dad by name.
JFK is way more, scrutinized than what your dad's clearance was, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
So
Anyway.
I was I had a paper route.
How old were you?
14.
And how much did you get? How much did you make every morning that you covered?
I don't remember.
It's
I was not
peanuts.
good. I was not good at saving that. I had no expenses as a 14-year-old.
Did you
I
ride
spent
a
it.
bike? Did
I
you,
rode a bike.
You rode a bike.
Rode a
and
bike.
Did you have to like bag? Did you have to bag the papers if it
Only,
rained?
oh yes, when it rained.
And did people complain if you didn't get it like in a certain spot or?
Yeah, they wanted their papers delivered. I tried to get it on the porch, like right up on the front door.
You played baseball. You have a good arm, good aim.
It's different,
But-
throwing
but
a
it's-
paper's a little bit different.
But it's like
But I wasn't
a
like
speed.
throwing
It's a
it-
speed thing.
It is, yeah, it's efficiency.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was throwing it from the sidewalk though. Like where reasonable, I just rode my bike up to the porch and just dropped it on the porch and went on to the next one. It's pretty easy. Rather than like trying to arm it all the way from the sidewalk and hope it gets in the right place. I don't know that I ever landed any in a bush. So what did I get
I was just imagining, like, if it went in the bush, I'd be like,
Screw it. Just keep going.
be like, it's not my name on it.
I
I don't even have the job. I'm a subcontractor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. I wasn't the one. It wasn't my name on
Sorry, Pete.
it. It was Pete.
Sorry, not sorry, Pete.
I don't know. I made sure I did a good job, the best I could. I did not like the Sunday paper, not because I had to deliver it on Sunday.
You had to like add inserts into it.
Oh,
right?
the Sunday paper was huge.
Well,
man.
it's big, but did you have to like add inserts into it?
I think it came inserted,
but
so
it was
when
just because it was
delivered-
so heavy.
Because it's so big. Like
Because
like
Sunday morning,
like the Tuesday paper,
very skinny,
super thin, like fitting 40, 50 papers in the bag, easy. The Sunday paper, it was a struggle.
Big
That was a Tetris game, man. Like,
you know that you can always move furniture better or stack things better in tight spaces
as long as you're
sing the Tetris song.
As long as you're making that song come
scientifically
up.
proven.
Fact check
that.
We have our first fact check. I got to come up with like a graphic where it goes bing, 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 bing. Fact check.
Fact check.
We
And
need
then you
a
change the background to like a game show, and we have a host.
Oh,
Okay, today's
man.
episode of Fact Check. Dave versus Dave.
That would be great.
Oh
That
yeah,
would
we
be
need
fun.
to. Yeah, nope.
Yep.
The producer says, "Oh, she's gone.
She's out. She's done. She's letting us run
You
our.
can't produce this. You can't control this."
We have so many ideas and not the resources with which to make them happen. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, I paid for my first season pass to Lagoon with the earnings from the paper route.
And did you feel like you got fair value? Was that worth it? In retrospect,
A season pass to Lagoon?
did you really enjoy what you got for the money?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
I enjoyed that.
Did
As
you
a
have like
14-year-old?
friends? Did you have friends that went to and stuff?
Uh-huh.
Did their parents pay for theirs, or did they have to earn them also?
I don't know. I think most of them, their parents paid.
You have some animosity toward them.
No,
They'd complain about it.
I didn't
and you'd
ask.
Be like, listen,
I never asked.
I rode a bike uphill both
Both
ways
ways.
in the snow. I don't want to hear any complaining. I earned every single penny.
Yeah, I never asked them.
No.
I never asked. Because I didn't care.
Now.
I
Don't
just,
ask now.
Oh, here's an embarrassing story about that. It's off the topic of jobs. Here's the first side conversation. We took the bus, me and my older brother,
To Lagoon?
to Lagoon.
Okay.
From Roy. Wasn't terrible. Learning how to ride the bus at that age was an adventure. But it was an experience that is valuable. I think that's good knowledge. There's no restroom on the bus.
Yes.
And I had to pee. Big time. And this was on the way to purchase my season pass and get my picture.
Are you getting your picture and you're able to like go into the park?
Yes.
So it's.
But I couldn't get into the park, get
Until
into a
you did
restroom
everything.
until I got my picture taken and I had my pass in hand. So I went to the office where and I paid and got all registered, and my picture, it's very obvious I was holding something back.
Oh, so when you got off the bus, you didn't go find.
I didn't go find a bathroom, and
You were just.
Yep. So my picture is like.
Do you have that picture still?
I wish I had saved it. I didn't save it.
Oh man.
But it was like. Eyes welling
Like
up
I have
with
a painful
tears.
secret.
Yes. Yep. That is exactly what it was. And then I remember this. I could not hold it any longer, and I ended up peeing my shorts.
Oh no.
Luckily, we were going to Laguna Beach, so I just jumped in the shower and it was fine. But I had to walk from the front gate all the way to the lockers, and I remember having a longer shirt. Had a longer shirt, and I just pulled it down to hide my wetting myself. Yep, I was that excited to get to Lagoon.
So the glorious paper boy got everything he wanted. And more.
And more.
And more. Question mark?
You got more worth the price of admission? I don't know.
Listen, people didn't have cell phones back then, so it's not like they'd be like, look at this guy, he peed his pants.
Yeah.
It'd be all over the internet. Instead, we can talk about it here, and then it'll be all
now
over.
It'll go viral.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've talked about poop and pee. It's
appropriate.
It's a good episode.
Your first job.
For me, okay, so I would say that my first official job would be when I was like 16 years old.
Okay. So this is like first W-2.
Yeah, W-2 jobs. Unofficial jobs, I like mowed the lawn or did stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm living in Yerington, Nevada. I'm living with my brother. My parents are still in Russia. I had left Russia because I'm like, I want to go experience teenage American life. And my parents were like, all right. So
I guess.
I lived with my brother and his wife and their little baby. And when I got there, he had a 13-inch color TV.
That's amazing.
That is so small. I had a Nintendo 64.
Almost as big as the Foxtail.
4-screen split on a 13-inch TV.
It's so small.
Now, he just got out of college. He's a teacher. They don't make like a ton of money. So I'm not like judging him for this. I'm just
frustrated that you can't play a multiplayer on the 64.
It's too small.
It's too small.
I got to get a job.
Yeah.
I got to buy a bigger TV.
Yeah.
I had my priorities in order. So I'm like, I don't want to get a job in McDonald's or like a fast food place. Like everybody just gets a job there. I want to do something that I'll like learn something cool. Okay. I got a job in a warehouse.
Doing what?
I only had the job for a week in the warehouse, but it was just filling orders. And it was a company that specialized in 10 toys, like the clapping monkey, like old school.
Oh, wow.
Like wind up toys. Yeah. They'd get them from Europe and they'd resell them. So I'm in the warehouse about a weekend. I go across the street to the office and there's one of the owners and he's having a problem with his computer. And I'm like, I can help you. Like, you just do this. So I showed him and he goes, why are you in the office? Why are you working in the warehouse? Why aren't you working here? I go, I don't know. You hired me in the warehouse. He said, you work here now. You get $1 raise.
Oh, that's amazing. You were probably making what, $6 an hour?
No, it was $7 an hour.
You were making $7, and then you got bumped up to $8.
Bumped up to $8.
Wow.
I never took a job making minimum wage. I took jobs making under minimum wage as like a server.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
But that all works out.
Yeah.
Never took a minimum wage job. Even at 16, I was like, screw that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get like a real job in a warehouse, right? So I'm across the street and now I'm like helping with computer stuff that they need and I'm taking orders. And this is the fall. Like some of these orders went to like celebrities.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, like famous people. And they're ordering a lot of money. It's worth the stuff. I was like, oh, cool. So we get through the Christmas season and my first paycheck. Sorry. So before I got my first paycheck and I remember I went and bought a Sanyo 26-inch boob tube TV.
No,
I put it in my bedroom.
And that took up half of your bedroom?
No, it was just a 26-inch. It wasn't like super big. But yeah, it was like, so I could go in there and play Nintendo. I lived with my brother.
Yeah.
My brother's wife's brother lived with us also.
Oh, okay.
So he's not my relative.
Yeah.
He's my brother's
nephew. What was the age gap?
The same.
You were the same age?
We were the same age.
Okay.
And
so did you invite him over to play 64 with you?
We had bunk beds. And it was just like, hey. So
did we become best friends?
Whether he wanted me to be his friend or not, we were friends. It's like, hey, your sister married my brother. They made a baby. We're friends now, buddy.
Okay. So first paycheck you bought a TV.
First paycheck I bought a TV.
Yeah,
and then in January, like they took a break, like after for whatever, I can't remember, but January I get a call from the boss. And he's like, hey Dave, I just wanted to let you know, thank you for everything you've done, blah, blah, blah. And we don't need you anymore.
Oh. You got let go from your first job.
I got let go. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, this was just a seasonal job. And I'm like, I did not know that.
Well, this is news to me.
Yeah, he was like, no, it's just for like the holiday season. It's our busiest season, so we hire people like you. And I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have spent my money on that TV. And it was fine. I was like kind of getting bored of like working and going to school.
Yeah.
And I had some money, and I could go to dances and just like goof around with my
Sure.
friends. So that was my first job. Really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. I worked with a girl's mom that I had a crush on.
Did that give you an in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did I do anything with it? No.
You had an in, but you didn't pursue
I
that.
did not have confidence back then.
Got it.
I have plenty of unfounded confidence now.
Sure, it's the best kind of confidence.
It's the cheapest type of confidence. So yeah, I remember like, I'm working with this girl's mom. I like her. How do I
leverage?
I think I got invited
How do I
over to
leverage
dinner
this?
once.
Oh, really?
I was like, I can't remember. I'm like, my sister-in-law's not home, and my brother's such a horrible cook.
Oh, so that's how you got invited.
And
over
she's
for
like,
dinner?
why don't you come over for dinner? Thank you.
Sounds great.
And then they told me to never come back to that company in January.
My second job was in a warehouse.
Nice.
Except I was a janitor.
Oh.
So I showed up after everyone was done for the day, and I went through and I swept the floors and cleaned the bathrooms and cleaned the offices.
Did you like that?
I didn't dislike it.
You could like put some music on and just...
If I
Everything.
had some kind of portable music player at that time,
They didn't
I
have
would
those. You'd have to be like carrying around the big...
It would have been like a Sony Walkman CD player that didn't have skip protection. And
I've been on the same song for 6 hours.
every
'Cause it
time I
just
take a
keeps
step,
skipping.
it skips and skips and skips.
Dude,
So no, I
music
didn't.
Technology has really changed.
it's
But
really
yeah,
advanced.
the anti-skip technology for the CD player was big.
That was a huge advance in CD player technology. No, I didn't have a CD player, portable CD player that I took to the job with me. It was a big warehouse. It was the Associated Foods warehouse in Pleasant View.
Oh yeah, no, I would drive by that all the time. Big
It's
A.
huge, yeah. And so there was a team of like 4 or 5 of us that would just go through and sweep like the whole warehouse.
You got to keep it clean.
Yeah. There was one guy that was certified on forklift, so he would drive around with the dumpster, and we would like take our stuff and drop it off the ledge into the dumpster, and then they would take it out. I worked like 2, maybe 3 hours a night at $6.25 an hour.
It's like not a lot of money, but
It's not a lot of money, and it was almost paying for my gas.
but you get experience.
I think it paid for at least my gas to get out there. But then I had a friend that worked there, and so we would carpool.
Okay, well, that worked out.
To work, so we would share the cost of gas. It
Plus,
worked
any
out pretty
like
well.
cans that you knocked over or dented, you got for free.
Yeah.
They don't want those.
Look, there was one time where someone did something illegal, and they tried to pin it on me.
The brown guy. Sorry, I take that.
It wasn't because
scratch that from the record.
It wasn't because of that. We're not scratching that staying on. I don't edit these out. I don't cut things out, Dave. You know this.
We creatively edit everything and nothing.
Nothing gets curated before it gets posted.
So why did they pin it on you?
Here's what happened. That friend that I worked with,
That you carpooled with?
that I carpooled with,
Did he lift your fingerprints?
No, I quit before the incident.
Okay.
Probably a month or 2 before then. I think because it was conflicting with wrestling practice.
Okay.
The schedule, so I just quit.
Because you were in like high school.
This was high school.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was 16. And he was still working there. I get a call from our boss, the manager that runs the janitor team.
Okay.
And he was telling me this situation. I can't remember exactly how he said it. Essentially, they found a note on someone's desk in one of the offices that said, "Your daughter's hot. Call me, Dave," with my phone number on it.
It's okay if you tell the truth now, Dave.
I am telling the truth. and he calls me, and I was like, I didn't do that. He's
Was
like,
he doing it to like get
he
her
wanted
number, or was he trying to hook you up
I think he was trying to get some kind of contact out of her. I don't know.
through you?
Through me. I don't know how. He didn't think it through. He didn't think it through. So
Because they have like a family photo. And it's like
it was.
your
That's
daughter's
exactly
hot.
what
How,
it was.
How old? Like that family photo could have been from like 20 years ago.
I don't know. I wasn't working there.
I got to give him like A for confidence.
Sure. But like
F
an
for
F.
execution.
Yeah. Yeah. Puts my name and my number on there. My boss calls me, hey, this happened. And I can't remember what he asked. But I was like, that wasn't me. I wasn't even there. Like, when did this happen? Oh, it was about this time. Oh, yeah, I quit before then. I wasn't even in the building. And then he says, are you willing to testify to that in court? And I was dumbfounded. I was like, yeah, because I wasn't there.
I'd even testify to that in Judge Jerry's
Judge
court.
Jerry's court. Oh, yeah, take me to Judge Jerry. I was like, do you really need me? And I was offended.
Is this
but,
the first time you've
but I
been
think,
accused of something at work?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's the only
way
time I've been
awkward.
accused of something like
Yeah.
that. But I was like, why would I was offended. Like, why are you asking me like this? Right? Like, find out who did it. I wasn't even there. Why would I even need to be in court if I wasn't employed at the time? My buddy calls me.
Does he confess?
And he says, hey, it was me. I just got fired.
Oh.
I think he fessed up.
Here's the thing. I think there is a way to make contact. I think there is a way without the internet. I think you just write a note and say, hey, I clean this desk every night. And this might sound creepy, but your daughter is beautiful. I'd love to get to know her, take her on a date. Here's my number if you feel like passing it along. And like, here's a little bit about me, and just like write a little bio, put a picture down. It might work.
It might.
That is the only time I think it could possibly work.
Yeah,
because hey, your daughter's hot. Here's my number. Moms don't like that.
No, they don't. And her complaint was sexual harassment.
Have you ever heard of third-party sexual harassment?
Yes.
I found out what that was.
Yeah. It's also not okay. Accidentally.
Well, I was 18.
Somebody third-party sexually harassed you?
Yeah. No. I got pulled in for it.
Oh.
I was 18. One of the things like my sisters would always say to me, and like my mom is like, you should give me a back rub, like just on like the shoulders.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, you do a really good job at that. And so I'm just sitting there, 18-year-old kid. I don't know anything. And a lady next to me, she's like, 35-year-old mom. And she's like, oh, my shoulder hurts. I'm like, oh, I could like my sister say I'm good at this. So I'm just like sitting there like rubbing her shoulders. Next thing you know, like I got like a queue of women in my
asking for back rubs.
Yeah. I mean, everything's like above.
Sure.
Like there's no like I'm not going outside of the bra straps.
Well, and if they're asked, it's tough. It's consensual, right?
We're just sitting there like waiting for phone calls, and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing weird going on. And somebody walked by and saw it. And so third-party sexual harassment is when somebody else sees something. So if I'm in the bathroom with you and I say, hey, so-and-so's hot.
Then somebody hears that.
Somebody hears that, even if it isn't so-and-so.
Right.
So they pulled me into the office and they're like, hey, this is third-party sexual harassment. And I was like, what?
What is that?
I was like, it was consensual and nothing inappropriate. Like, everybody's clothes is on. We're not kissing or anything. The way
it was perceived.
Oh, this place was horrible.
What was this place?
Convergence.
Oh, yeah.
It's a call center.
Yep.
And the stuff that happened there, I will not. This is behind a paywall. It was bad.
I'm sure.
And the fact they pulled me in for this later on, I'm like, I actually, when January 1st hit, this is one of the very few times I've ever done anything like this. I called in. I took every single vacation day I had because they gave them all to me.
Yeah.
I do every single sick day just through this computer. And then I walked in and said, here's my headphone, quit. Like, I just took them for like 2 or 3 weeks when January began.
And then quit
And then
as soon as those days were used up.
Because it was abusive there. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those call centers, like Teleperformance, Focus, and Converges.
They got mad at me once because I'm doctor's officers are calling me to confirm like health benefits.
Okay.
And the person's calling me, but the patient is Russian.
And so you were talking to them in Russian?
And they were confused. They put them on the phone with me. I tried to call the line because I'm supposed to have them do the Russian speaking, but they didn't have anybody that spoke Russian. And so I said, okay, I speak Russian. And so I helped them.
This is outside of your job description.
So
Dave.
you know how it says, this call may be recorded for training purposes.
Yep.
So that gets flagged and they pull me in and they're like, Dave, what are you doing? I said, I speak Russian. I live there. And they said, well, we don't know that. And we don't know what you said. And I said, I can translate it for you if you'd like, but you could also call your helpline that's supposed to have somebody there. And I'm like, I'm getting in trouble for this. I help the customer. Like,
we don't know that, Dave. We don't know what you
know that you helped the customer. They said thank you at the end.
You could be passing on secrets in Russian at the call center on this call about health insurance.
Hello, Brother Dave.
Brother Dave.
It's good to talk to you.
Yes, comrade.
Comrade Dave.
What have you got for me today?
Okay, this is... I wouldn't say this is my next job. So I talked about the bank one in the teaser.
Yes.
Where I was like, this doesn't have to be awkward if you give me the job.
Yeah.
This is when I started getting that unfounded confidence. I want to tell you how I got this the job for the company I work for now.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is a mess. It is a mess. It's just weird. Okay, so do you ever have those moments where you are like half awake, half asleep?
Yes.
Okay. Do you dream during those?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
I had one of those last night as I was trying to fall asleep.
I don't dream a lot and remember it. When I do dream, I emotionally remember it.
Emotionally remember it. What do you mean? Okay.
If
so
I
like,
did something horrible in my dream,
you feel guilty when you wake up.
I wake up
and you apologize to
bad.
Laura or whoever.
Well, sometimes I don't need to apologize to her. I'm like, sorry, I was so good. No.
In the dream.
In the dream. You really liked it.
You
in the dream.
have no idea what I just did to you. It was amazing. Knocked your socks right off. You're welcome.
Nothing like real life. It was amazing.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. There's potential. I think I saw this in a dream. Let's try this out. And that's how the trip to the ER begins. Anyway, so I had a dream like that. I was like half awake, half asleep. It was like in the morning, and it was I would say, a very strong spiritual impression to go drop my resume off at a company.
Okay.
Name of the company popped in my head. I've driven by this company a dozen times. So I get up and I go, I should go apply for a job there. Now I'm going to school for engineering at this time. I'm waiting tables. I'm okay. Like it's okay, but I'd love to have like more engineering experience. So I print my resume off. I print off a couple copies and I drive over there. And along the way, every company that I think might want somebody like me, I drop by and I just dropped off my resume. So I get to this place. The name of the company is AES. Receptionist, I'm like, hey, are you guys looking for anybody in your engineering group? And she goes, I don't know. I don't think we're hiring anybody right now. You can check back later or something. But she kind of brushed me off. So I walk out, hold the door for some random person in the parking lot. just doing a nice thing, right?
Right.
And as this guy walks in, I said, "Hey, do you work here?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you mind if I ask you a question?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you like it working here?" He's like, "I sure hope so. I own it."
Oh.
As the owner.
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, I'm an engineering student. I was just dropping off my resume." He's like, "You know what? We're looking for somebody like you. You need to talk to so-and-so."
Oh, awesome.
Awesome, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, everything's working out.
Yeah.
So call the guy up the next day. I'm like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." And he just brushed me off.
Oh, really?
Very not interested. And I thought, that's weird. But I wasn't really in like a mode looking for jobs at this point.
Yeah. You just,
because I'm very focused on just school and working. But I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to hop on I was at the computer lab. I hopped on, I looked on some jobs, and I found this job for a manufacturing process engineer at a company in Clearfield. I couldn't apply for it because I didn't have a degree yet. And so I called the company up and they're like, "Yeah, go ahead and just send us your resume." Emailed my resume. 3 months later, that company, the Clearfield company, calls me up, says, "Hey, we want you to come in for a job interview." I don't, okay. Come in on Thursday. No, Friday. Come in on Friday. I was like, okay. 2 hours later, the other company calls me. Says, "Hey, we want you to come in for a job interview Monday."
the one that brushed you off?
The one that brushed me off.
Okay.
They literally, I didn't apply for any other jobs. I didn't do anything. They literally called me the same day, 2 hours apart from each other. So I go into, this is the company that I didn't have the dream about. Okay. I go in for the job interview. And while I'm there, I ask my future possible boss.
Yeah.
One of my favorite interview questions is, what has your career been like? What's your educational background or training like? And what led you here? And why are you here? Interviewers love it.
Sure.
Dude, they love it.
Sure.
But I want to know who I'm working for.
People like to talk about themselves.
We're doing that right now.
Exactly.
And so the guy tells me about his background, and then he says, "And the last company I worked at was AES." I'm like, "That's interesting." And I said, "Hey, I have a job interview with them on next week. I would like you to give me a reason to not go."
That's a good approach. I like that.
They bumped the offer up $10,000.
Oh, that's awesome.
and gave me the offer 5 hours later. So fast forward 3-4 months later, I find out the truth of the situation. So my boss left AES. He tried to pull one of the engineers over to come with him. The guy accepted the offer. Then his company countered. So he went back. And then me, being first place loser for both of them, both called me. I don't think that I ever would have applied for the job if I hadn't have got up and like done those things.
Yeah.
And so I think I was supposed to be where I ended up.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, anytime I have promptings, I'm going to follow it, and whatever happens, happens. One more quick story about the interview.
Yes.
So I'm in the interview with the HR manager, and he asks me, "Dave, if we give you a job here and you get an office and you could put anything on one wall to kind of say who you are, what would that one thing be?"
That's a good question. That's a tough question.
Okay. So I'm looking around his office. Dude has an eagle photo.
Oh.
Dude has an eagle painting.
Okay.
Dude has an eagle, like, colored pencil.
These are bald eagles.
Bald eagles.
Okay.
The best eagles.
The best eagles.
And
freedom birds.
Yeah, freedom birds. He has a statue
Of a bald eagle?
Of a bald eagle. He's got bald eagle stuff everywhere.
Okay.
And I look at him straight faced as possible. And
You did not say an eagle.
And I said, bald eagle.
You, really?
And he goes, I love bald eagles.
No.
And I was like, really?
You don't say.
And for like the next 5 minutes, he talks about the bald eagles. And then I said, listen, Chad, I got to shoot straight with you. I just said that because you have a bunch of bald eagles. I was just kind of messing with you a little bit. And I have to be honest with you. If there was anything, it'd be a photo of my family riding on the back of an eagle. Like Lord of the Rings style, right? Like one of those big eagles.
Yes.
He's like, that'd be epic too. I wish I had one of those in my office.
And then the next week he had one.
And then he called me 5 hours later and
offered you a job. That's great.
Yeah.
I think personality goes a long way when it comes to
Interviewing.
Yeah.
I
really
had
like
an
knowing
interview where the guy said, well, this is the best interview I've ever given. And I said, I'm going to have to go with top 10. I can't say best. I've had better. I still got the job.
That's good work, Jay. Good work.
I'm going to have to go with top 10.
Not the best, but it's getting there.
I've interviewed around, buddy.
I've had plenty of interviews. Let me tell you, you're not a number one. I had a job that I ended up getting it, but I interviewed for it twice over a year.
Okay, that's a long time.
Between interviews. It wasn't a first and second interview.
It was two interviews for two different positions?
2 first interviews and 2 second interviews for the same position.
Really?
A year apart.
Oh, did they hire somebody? They went with somebody else, they got rid of them, and then they opened the position back up?
I don't know if it was that or if they...
never filled it?
They were expanding the team.
Okay.
And I don't know that they had a good fit for what they were looking for the first go around, or they interviewed a bunch of people. They didn't tell me exactly, and I didn't ask that question, but I thought it was interesting because
did they remember you?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They did.
That'd be awkward.
Yeah. I can't remember I didn't have to go through a first interview again. It was just straight to the manager. It was a second
like
interview.
A brush up.
Yeah. So they brought me in the first time around, and it went well. Like, they told me straight up they were looking for someone that would be a good fit for the team. Not necessarily a specific skill set.
Personality,
and
like attitude and things like that.
And someone that can learn what the technology that they're using. This was an IT gig. And so that second interview, I don't know, I can't remember if they turned me down for that.
Okay.
And I don't remember if I had to reapply. I think I had to reapply, but I didn't have to go through a first interview again. I think one of them called me up and said, "Hey, we're opening this position again. We want you to apply."
Yeah, because I had a job interview once where they did that. They're like, "Hey, we only have one position." I was their number one choice from an external candidate perspective.
Oh, they had someone from internal.
But they had an internal candidate. They made the offer to the internal. They told me if the internal turns it down, they're going to make me an offer. Internal accepted. And then they said, hey, this is a growing thing. We might duplicate this position in like 6 months or a year. So we'll give you a call. They never called. Got ghosted. No, I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. That was the only time I've ever experienced that. And I wasn't even sure that I would reapply when the position came open. My IT journey was interesting. I'd say it's different than most.
Okay.
Most people go into it, that's what they're doing. Like, they know I'm going to school for computer science, or I'm going for like information systems, something like that.
Like it's intentional.
Yeah. I was studying chemistry, nutrition, and health promotion.
Which has nothing like
has
IT.
Nothing to do with IT.
But you're pretty tech savvy.
But my acumen came from the military, from the Guard.
Yeah.
So I had very surface level experience with, Active Directory and, file systems. That was it. The job I interviewed for was a server admin. I didn't do anything with servers.
Okay.
But apparently it was a good enough fit, and they paid for me to study and get some certs. So it was.
Now, was that the job that you left for your new employment?
No, this was 2 before.
Okay, so you've had 2 IT related jobs.
Really 3.
3?
So military, that one, and then the one after.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I have over a decade of IT experience.
I think that people value a lot attitude, personality, kind of that feel.
And that unfounded confidence.
Unfounded confidence goes someplace there too, because that you do need a skill set. But more importantly, I think you need to show an ability to learn, an ability to apply it and be successful and not be a prick. Because
most of those I can do.
I just need a Snickers bar and I won't be a prick.
You're really angry when you're hungry.
I just get hangry. I just need food. And sometimes I think that happens. I think men typically are a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
And can be more directly rude in a work environment. And what I've noticed is that a lot of companies are afraid to get rid of people that are performing well but have horrible attitudes.
Oh, yeah.
And it poisons the rest of the team. And my philosophy is get rid of them. I'd rather have somebody who performs okay, because the what they do to everyone else is so damaging.
Yeah.
And
you can bring productivity down even if you're a high performer, but you are a terrible person. Yeah. Other people aren't going to perform well, and other people aren't going to be productive. Yeah, there's a culture of you have to foster the right culture in your work environment.
Yes. What I was explained was there's an ABC type thing.
Okay.
There are people that are naturally A's.
Oh,
they are going to be A's no matter what company they go to. They're going to be an A.
Yeah.
There are people that are naturally C's. They're just turds. Okay? But the vast majority of people are B's when they come into a company. And your company culture will push them to an A or a
C. I can see that.
ABC it.
I can ABC that.
Dad jokes. Gotta love them.
We gotta do an episode where we just do dad jokes.
My favorite texting dad joke, which I think people have got tired of, is when they, instead of saying okay, they just do K, and I respond LMNOP.
With the following letters.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like LMNOP.
You give me one letter, I'm giving you many.
That's the best letter, LMNOP.
LMNOP.
It's one letter. They say it really fast.
What word would that be used in?
I don't know.
It's probably some Dr. Seuss word.
So, did you enjoy that job? Like, was it?
I did, and it wasn't necessarily the work. Like, the work was fine, but I enjoyed it because of the people that I was working with.
So, when you took the job, were you hesitant at all?
To accept the job?
To accept the job?
No, because it was a decent pay bump. It was like 13.
Was a pay bump.
It was like 13,000 more than what I was making.
So $13,000 a year.
Yeah.
I know you weren't making zero. So did you have any sort of like self-doubt or?
Oh, all the time. Like the whole time was like imposter syndrome. Like,
okay,
we're going to have you work on these servers. And I was like, I know nothing about servers.
But you told them this, right?
No.
Oh.
I didn't tell them.
Did they ask you?
They didn't ask me what my experience with Windows Server 2012 was. No, they didn't ask me that.
I straight up tell people in jobs, I'm like, job interviews, I go, listen, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
But I said, there's a lot of things I don't know how to do. And I figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I either will figure it out myself or I will find people that can help me figure it out. Like, I don't need to be the expert on this. There are tons of resources out there. I have an ability to learn and execute.
Yeah.
And so it will be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've gotten plenty of jobs where I do not meet the criteria. Like, if I looked at it, like maybe half of the stuff. But that is also something like on gender. There are studies on this, and there is a division. Men are way more likely to apply for a job that they
don't
do
qualify.
not meet all the qualifications for, and women are way less likely to.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Because they're being honest, and we're full of crap. Like, I figured that out. CEO,
Fake it.
yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
It is like,
and that is exactly what I've done
I know, my whole life.
my entire
In
life.
fact, right now, I don't think you guys know this, but we don't know how to podcast.
We don't know how to
we
podcast.
We are faking this till we make it.
We'll make it somehow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome has been real.
I do think.
A lot
Do
of
you feel
times.
like you've had imposter syndrome for a long time in your life around jobs?
Yeah, I do.
So I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and my wife's like, "I think you have imposter syndrome," and I'm like, "I don't know if it's like some false humility, like
There could be something to that.
going on there,"
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, I just know that there's so many more people that are like smarter and better at me than things. I meet them all the time, and they have way more experience on it, and so I'm like, why would you want me?
Personality, yeah. Personality. That's what it is.
We're looking for a bald, bearded, white guy. You fit the criteria.
You
Dave.
fit the criteria. That's exactly what we want.
Looking for a fledgling podcaster.
Nobody cares what you do
Let me ask
as
you
long
this.
as the
Did
way you look.
paint with poop as a young child? You're in.
You're hired.
Why'd you put that on your resume? Why not?
I made some masterpieces.
I just wanted to see if you read that. Actually, you know what's interesting about like resumes and stuff? This ties into it. So I did a bunch of research on resumes.
Really? How did you do? What kind of research? How did you do it?
So this was a long time ago. I was making a new resume. I didn't have a lot to fill it up with. And I
Okay.
was trying to get attention.
Oh.
And so I just settled on an infographic resume.
Ooh, I love infographics.
Bold choice.
Yeah.
I made 2 different email accounts.
Do you have these? Still?
I still have them like
I would
saved.
love to see one. An
You'll laugh at me.
infographic resume sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
I
You got to fill up
actually-
that whole page.
I actually calculated the center of mass based off of the ink on the page, which is not the center of the page because there's some heavy graphics like dark, and I put a dot in there in really small text and put center of mass of my resume.
No, you did.
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
Because I'm like, I just need to catch their attention.
Yeah.
So I do some research. I talk to some people. I get some feedback, and these are the things. First of all, I tried infographic versus non-infographic, and at this stage of my career, 15 years ago, I got way more results from infographic resumes.
I believe that.
The recruiters hated them
Why?
because the recruiters are so used. They're practically AI reading through these
Oh,
resumes.
yeah.
And they want to find the
They
information.
follow an
quick.
algorithm. Yeah.
And the information is not in a format that they're used to.
Yep.
So a couple things that I did. One, there is a golden triangle on your resume.
Okay.
And it's because we read left to right,
Yeah.
up, down. So the upper left corner of your resume, like just from corner to corner, that is the most valuable real estate on your resume.
Okay.
The lower right corner is your least valuable real estate.
Okay.
They may get there. They probably won't. Okay. Secondly, unless you have, there are very few fields where you have a 2 or 3 page resume or a 5 page or a 6 page.
Sure.
1 page resume. If you have a second page, it can be like a work portfolio, kind of giving like details about stuff, like some examples. Thirdly, don't say what your responsibilities are. Show how your skills have made you successful in the
Yeah.
company. So, for example, I put on there, I have designed a production line, a pre-preg production line. Okay, something along those lines. And I was showing it to a friend who was also studying like resume stuff, and he said, well, so-and-so's done that too, but they've done a poor job. You did a good job. So you need to identify, show what the problem was, show how you solved it, and show the result. Hey, we needed a new production line. I formed a cross-functional team. We did X. Here were the results.
Yeah.
The other thing is a functional resume versus a chronological resume.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to put your resume in chronological order. You can move jobs around to draw attention.
To show the relevance to the position you're applying for.
The relevance to the position that you're going for.
Okay, that makes sense.
Put who you reported to. If you reported to like a VP, that looks really good. Maybe your job title isn't super impressive, but you reported to a VP.
Yeah.
So I took my resume and I went to the Utah State because I was in the student body presidency at the Brigham City campus.
Oh, really?
I was VP of the student body vice president, presidency at Utah State, just at the Brigham campus.
Just the Brigham campus.
Yeah, it was an interview. It's not a.
It wasn't a. You don't campaign for that.
They did campaign for it, but somebody like gave out candy bars and got it, and they sucked at the position. And
so they're like, "We're just going to interview for this."
They only had president, but they liked me so much.
They made you vice president?
That they made a vice president position because they were so torn between me and the other person. And I got like a year of
tuition
paid for.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
But anyway, so I showed my lady, I said, hey, I'm working on this. And she's like, can I use this in my curriculum? So she took my resume and she put it in her curriculum.
Oh, sweet.
At Utah State. I was like, no. I applied for a job. I was on unemployment. I'd been laid off. And I just sent my resume with a line in the subject line, nothing in the email body. Because I don't want a job. I'm really enjoying unemployment at this point in my life. And I'm going to school. I've been working for so long.
Yeah. When was this?
This was, 2011.
Okay.
A long time ago. And the company emailed me back and said, hey, we'd like to interview you. And I'm like, I'm just checking off the box so I get employment, right? My 2 jobs. I'm like, okay. And then they told me, initially we thought you were just advertising that you designed resumes.
We didn't realize that this was your actual experience.
This was, because they were like, it was a very cool resume. I've since gone to a more traditional one because I think I have enough like actual experience.
Yeah, that you don't have to you don't have to have it visually pop.
Like gimmicky.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the time I was like trying to break in, get more engineering experience.
So what was the result of this interview?
Oh, that interview?
Yeah.
They took me to lunch. Oh no, the company sent me and the other people. There were 3 people interviewing for the job.
Oh, it wasn't like a one-on-one. Oh, really?
I got the other people's resume.
What?
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
I don't think you are.
This feels like the Joker scene in like Dark Knight when he's like snaps the pencil. We've got 2.
You have the key opening to the other, or you have the remote to the other boat's.
No, not that. Oh. The scene where he goes in and he like snaps the pool stick in half and throws it on the ground. He's
we're gonna have tryouts.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. So of course, I read the other people's resumes to know what my competition was.
Yeah.
So I show up to the thing. I'm like, I don't really want a job. I'm enjoying unemployment right now and like just going to school. And I just sat there and I just ate my steak. And the other dude talked and they the team got in the car. It was like the team that was hiring. And they took a vote and they said, we like Dave because they didn't like him. Was it because I said a couple things, but I was just like sitting there and like, this guy he was an idiot.
He's just talking himself up.
He was just talking himself out of the job. And so they offered me the job and I was like, dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it.
Now I can't collect unemployment.
Well, I was enjoying this. It was the first time in a long time that I hadn't been working.
Now I got to go to work.
And it was a good job. It was a good situation, but
Good.
yeah.
Good.
What about you? Anything else? I know that we're probably getting late.
Oh man, what time is
I
it?
don't know what time
It's
it is.
11. We're pushing it. No, I feel like I've had so many different jobs. Like, I don't know. I've worked as a personal trainer. I've done like Olympic weightlifting coaching. I've been a dietetic technician at a long-term care facility. So I have like exposure in healthcare, in the fitness industry, the financial industry,
finance.
IT. Man, like janitorial work. Like I have.
So I have banking.
Yeah.
I have sales.
Yeah.
So I was
I've done sales. I've done door-to-door sales too.
Commercial sales manager. I covered 3 states. Small team for a company that sold fitness equipment.
Okay.
I know nothing. Like, here you are talking about like, hey, I was a personal trainer and stuff. I worked at the bank. The lady was like, hey, do you want to come work at this company? We need somebody. You're nice and you're good at sales. And I'm selling like $7,000 treadmills to gyms. I've run on a treadmill like 15 minutes in my life. And they'd ask me every once in a while, like, why are you doing this? I said, to be honest, I was the fattest one in the office. They said I looked bad. Like, people come in to buy fitness equipment. They don't want a fat person around. So they made me leave the office and come visit you guys.
It's a great line. That's a good icebreaker.
It was true too, dude. They were all like meatheads.
I bet.
They're just
We're
like
gonna
ripped. They're just sitting there
industry.
like pumping iron, and you come in to buy like some gym equipment. Like, oh hey, check this out. So yeah, I did that. And that was the job that made me decide to go into engineering.
That one.
The sales job.
Really?
Yeah, I got to the point where I was like, I'm really good at sales. And I'm going to lose my soul if I keep doing this job.
Sure. That
not that all sales are like this, but
right.
in this industry, it just felt I was uncomfortable.
Felt icky.
Yeah, so I spent 6 months asking everyone I met, what do you do for a living? Do you like it? Is it enough to support a family without the other person having to work?
Yeah.
I'm okay if you have 2 income. That makes sense. That's fine with you. I just don't want to put myself in a situation where she has to.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, I was like, everybody that I met that I looked at and was like, they seem like they have a pretty good life. They're not like rich, but they ain't poor. They were all engineers.
Oh.
So I went to Utah State and I said, hey, I want to be an engineer. And they looked at my ACT scores from high school and they said, you are low. Your scores are low in math and science. Like, that is your lowest scores.
And those are like the bread and butter for, like, that's the foundation for engineering.
And I said, listen, I wasn't trying back then. I was just goofing off. It's fine. So they put me like on probation.
Oh, okay. So they accepted you to the program, but they put you on probation.
You don't get into like the program like up at Utah State. Like, you don't get into the program until like your junior, senior year.
Okay.
But they put me like on like probation and they're like, okay. And I ended up graduating in the Engineering Honor Society.
Nice work, Dave.
So I was like,
just need to not be lazy, and I can do it.
Yeah, I needed motivation.
Yes,
and I took my ACT. I didn't study for it, and I didn't sleep the night before. Like, I was like out partying with friends or something. Mom's like, "Hey, you got to go take the ACT at school Saturday morning." And I'm like,
okay, whatever that is,
whatever. Going back to like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was wondering about, and I think I want to look into like maybe some of the causes of it. I wonder if like if you are in a very competitive family growing up
Oh,
that is very successful and smart, is it easy to develop imposter syndrome in that scenario? Because I'm looking around. I talked to my sister about this, my oldest sister, Rachel, and I said, I might have like imposter syndrome. She didn't know what this was. And I said, it might be just because I grew up with like, you guys are all so smart.
yeah.
And
These are smart, or very competitive. Like my family.
And
everyone has to be right all the time.
Yeah, everybody's right all the time. And she said, hey, newsflash, I am not the smartest kid in the family. And I said, Rachel, we've known this for years. We were just waiting for you to admit it. She did not like that.
Oh, that's hilarious. We know.
But was your
we
family
just didn't tell you
like that too? Like, hey, there was a lot of strong personalities, competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Very accomplished, smart, like
accomplished
enough.
Accomplished enough.
Unfounded confidence for everyone.
No, just competitive.
Yeah.
Just we all feel like we need to be right in whatever we're doing, and when we're not validating each other, it gets very. I don't want to say feisty, like not confrontational necessarily, but we would get upset at each other, like, or upset at our parents for not validating us, even in our as adult children. It's like, why do you do that? But my stuff is just ignored. Like,
oh, you're seeing like comparison where
it's
obvious that the parents have some favoritism. I mean, but be honest.
Or perceived favoritism from my perspective, not necessarily intentional.
Do you have favorites?
Do I have favorites?
With your children?
I don't have favorites.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying. I don't have favorite children. There are times where there are those that I like the least.
Okay. So that's a different way.
That's different.
Dave's like, baseline's 0.
Yeah.
I tolerate you guys all equally.
And then when you're at a negative.
Negative. So my kids asked me that, and I said, you know what? I love you all, but it would be a lie for me to say that I don't get there's some of you that I get along with better.
Yeah.
Because I think our interests align more, personalities match up. It doesn't mean that I'm not trying with the kid that I don't naturally get along with. It just is. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I turned it back on them and I said, do you have a favorite parent?
And they're like, Laura.
Yeah, it's always the wife.
It's mom.
And the boy will punch me in the nuts and go give his mom a hug and a kiss. Because, that's his way of showing love. He wants to fight.
Boys like to roughhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think there's definitely there could be something to your theory here, Dave.
Which makes me wonder, like, so tying back like into the jobs and stuff, is that holding me back? Because I look at my career and I have been, when I describe it to people and things that I've done, successful. But I don't always feel that way. And I interview for jobs. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
I wonder if there's maybe some kind of spiritual component to that, right? Like, how much of this am I saying I've done? Being someone that believes in a higher power.
Yeah.
Right. Am I taking something away from the gifts I've been given by claiming it as me, and this is my accolades and resting on my laurels, right?
I think it's okay to be like, hey, I did this, and for me, there's always that asterisk of with the gifts that I was given and with the support that I have.
Yeah.
Of people here and people not here.
Yeah.
Like, so I know that's like an easy thing to just say like, oh, look what I did.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I did that, but Like I'll give you a good example. Like Laura and I do home remodeling, but I really didn't do that a whole lot earlier before Laura. And I had a friend, and he had done like his whole house, and he's just so confident about things.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, I want to do this. He's like, yeah. He came over, he helped me for a couple hours. And then I think like the third project I was working on, I asked him something, and he's like, hey, I can't come over, but you're smart, you'll figure it out. And I was like, he told me I can do it.
He said, I've got this.
I don't think this is a load-bearing wall. We'll find out. Right? And he came over to my house, and he's standing on my porch, putting his hands like this, looking in to see what the project worked. Like, he didn't knock. He's like creeper.
That's
standing there,
hilarious.
6'5" giant, like, looking in. He's like, knocks on the window. Hey, Dave, looks good. Such a good guy.
That's awesome.
But just kind of gave me that confidence that, and so now I look at it and I'm like, I've had good people and good friends help me when I've asked, when I don't know. And so even when I know, sometimes people are like, wow, Dave, you know so much about this. I'm like, I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants type of thing.
Yeah.
The giants of YouTube.
The giants of YouTube. But
the
I think there
giants of
does need
other,
to be,
like, friends in the
do you
neighborhood and
think
stuff.
that the imposter syndrome could take away some accountability? Right? Like if I say I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, how much am I taking accountability for what follows?
Are you saying the negative things or the positive things?
Both.
I mean, the negative things, I think I'm more likely to accept the negative and give credit to the good for others. There's something I'm working on. Laura has pointed out. If somebody gives me a compliment, like, hey, thanks, Dave. Like, I really appreciate you did this. You did such a good job, blah, blah, blah. It happens every once in a while. I'm like, oh, it's not a big deal. No, anybody could have done it. You know, I'm like.
But you did it.
Laura said that I'm not accepting the gift.
Oh.
They are trying to give.
They're trying
to
give you the gift of gratitude, right? And
of complimenting you and telling you thanks, and I am not accepting it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be like, you're welcome.
Why not? What's wrong with that?
So I don't want to be like.
I know you dreamed that this was amazing, and you're welcome.
I had a dream, and you're welcome.
This was everything I dreamed.
I don't want to be like Gaston, arrogant,
right?
Jerk. So it's just saying thanks.
Yeah,
and saying, and that's hard. It's hard for me. It's
just,
hard. People will be
say
like,
you're just to say you're welcome. I was happy to help.
Happy to help. Thanks, and just leave it. Not put myself down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because what you bring is just as valuable as the next person, right? So anybody could have done it, but you did it, and you brought that value.
Yeah, and that's what something like, as I think about like jobs and different things, I'm like, there's 7 billion people on this planet.
Yeah.
I am not the best at a lot of things. And I think about this like from like arts and like stand-up comedy and gosh, podcasting.
We're so good at podcasting.
I'm there. So maybe I'm not the best friend for this person in their life. There's probably better friends out there, but that person already has friends. I want to see live music. Is it going to be the best singers at the local pizza place playing the guitar and singing? No, but they're still pretty good. And I would never want them to look at themselves and go, hey, I'm not as good as so-and-so, this famous person, and so therefore I'm not going to do.
Right.
And so I'm not the best friend, therefore I'm just not going to be a friend.
Yeah.
I'm not the best artist, therefore I'm not going to draw. Screw that.
Yeah.
Like, you're involved in people's lives and be willing to help. And if you're the best at it, great. And if you're not and you're working at it, that's okay too. Newsflash, we all kind of suck.
None of us are that great.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to survive anyway.
So I think that there's probably like social circles and kind of social ecosystems.
Yeah.
And I go, there's probably a Dave-like person in everybody's social circle. And that Dave might be better, like a multiverse type. He might be better than me. And that's okay.
That is okay.
I'm their Dave.
So, yeah.
And this is what they got. And that's okay too.
Yes.
It's like a multiverse type thing is how I look at it. Like there's 7 billion people. Like,
somebody can do. Everyone. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Is there any other job stuff you wanted to talk about?
Oh man. No, not off the top of my head. I'm sure there are plenty of stories that can be shared about various jobs that I've done, but
I'll tell you something that I said in an interview. I don't regret this, but I also want you to know that I didn't plan it. Like most of the things that come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there looking at my resume. And I don't have a job right now. And they want to understand what happened there. And so they ask, hey, what happened?
Why is there this gap?
Yeah, you're not at this company anymore. What happened? And I said, when I take a girl out on a date, we don't talk about the ex. Forget about what's their names. I'm here with you, and that's all that matters.
You said this in an interview?
Yeah, they offered me the job.
Of course they did. Why wouldn't they?
When I go on a date,
this
we don't talk about the ex. Forget about what's her name. I had never said that in my life. It was like, oh, hey.
Did you, as it was coming out, did you try to stop it or redirect it all? You just let it go?
I literally said it just like that. I'm like, when I go on a date, we don't talk. When I take a girl out on a date, we don't talk about the ex. Forget about what's her name. I'm here with you. That's what's important.
And they went.
They just laughed and they're like,
and they moved on.
That's a great answer.
I don't need anything else. Next question. Let's go.
The most awkward interview there are two awkward interviews. One was a two people interview, real low quality job, and I had taken a personality test and it had given me a single word that described me.
Which was?
Inspirational.
Oh, all right.
I'm like, you know what? I lied and I got a good word. Could have been turd muffin.
That's a hyphenated word.
Okay, it would have been 2 personality tests. One where I got turd and the other one, the backup would have been like muffin. I would have put the 2 together and got turd.
Or you probably would have got cupcake there too.
Would have got cupcake. Depends on
turd cupcake.
Before the Snickers bar or after. So I'm in this interview. And the lady asked me, if you could pick one word to describe you, what would it be?
Did you say inspirational?
And I said, inspirational. Gosh darn it, I took a test on this. I'm thinking to myself, how, this all lined up. Turns to the other person. Struggles. Nothing comes out. It's like blank stare.
They obviously didn't do the personality test.
I started feeling awkward. Silence is awkward.
Yes.
And so I start throwing out words like awesome, helpful.
You said this for them?
Like diligent. I think I started naming off like Boy Scout things, like
trustworthy, loyal,
helpful. Like I'm just like name them off. Like pick one. Like I need to help you because this is making it awkward for both of us. And then I worked at the school.
Did they come up to you afterwards and were like, how did you come up with that so fast?
I think I might have I think I said something. I was like, don't feel bad. Like in the interview, I said, I took a personality test. It gave me a word. I remembered it. It was like last week. Like I might have been in the same boat as you.
had I not been for
taken this test. So I worked for the school district in a youth in custody program. So these are like 16-year-old kids, boys that have done something wrong, and they are not living with their parents while they get treatment, but they need education. So I'm a paraprofessional there. And I did this once. The kids would get privileges based off of doing their homework.
Sure.
But they would often not put their name on the homework. And then
think you've
people
shared
would
this before.
lie. Huh?
I think you've shared this before.
Oh, I have? Okay, never mind. We'll skip it then.
That's all right.
But that job, while I have this job, I don't have any benefits. It's part-time. So there is a job opening that is full-time. And within the school district,
Okay.
it's at I think it's at Sunrise. And so they want a male.
This
They
Sunrise High
specifically
School
said-
here in
Yeah,
town?
I think it was
Okay.
Sunrise. And the reason why is they're like, hey, some of these kids are like kind of troublemakers and stuff, and they'll respect you more because you're a man and you have a cool
assertive.
beard
Oh,
and
yeah.
you look like you're tough and whatever. So I show up to the interview. I'm like, I need benefits, and this will be good. So they tell me a little bit about the job, and they say, just so we're very clear, this is not a benefited position.
Oh.
I said, time out. I'm working 8 hours a day. They said, yeah, but you're only contracted for like 178 days,
Oh.
and you have to be 180 days
To qualify for benefits.
to qualify for the benefits. So they intentionally did it so they wouldn't give me insurance.
Yep.
And I looked at them and I said, listen, I'm not working 8 hours a day for anybody and not getting benefits. I can go do other jobs and make more money. So for me, this interview's over. Like, I have no reason to interview for this job. I just need the benefits. And then it was a 3-person panel, and I just sat there and
Waited for them to come up with their rebuttal to that.
and they just sat there and said nothing for like 20 seconds of silence. And then I said, but if you want to interview me for practice, you can. And they're like, okay, question 1. And they interviewed me.
Did
And
they
I-
offer you the job?
No, because
Okay.
every single question I said, blah, 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 blah. If I was interested in the job, blah, blah, blah. So if I was interested in the job, blah, 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 blah. If you guys would give me benefits, I'd be interested in the job. I just kept saying it. I was being like such a smart aleck with them. And they had to like interview so many people. So I think this was
Okay.
like a nice like box checking
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
But they just stared at me. I was like, unless you guys want to practice interview me. And they did. And I was like, how'd I get into this situation?
Yes, we do want to practice, even though you're not interested. Way to go, school district. I'm impressed that he would follow through. Oh,
Anyway, long.
okay.
It's late.
It's
Dave's
getting late.
tired.
I am tired, and I gotta be up early.
Dave's early. We have real jobs in the morning.
Some of us
So,
do.
some of us do. Why are you looking at me? You and your imposter syndrome. Don't you put that imposter syndrome on
No,
me, Ricky
I am.
Bobby?
Don't you put that evil on me? Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
Some of us have real jobs.
We do. I do have a real job. I
Yeah.
have a job. I have a job that I enjoy. I really enjoy. Yeah.
That's good.
I get to work with people. Again, people.
I mean, you made a big jump.
I did.
With the job, and it seems like you're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying it. I really like it.
And we
We're
enjoyed
gonna keep that.
this, and we hope
We
you
enjoyed
enjoyed it too.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. What was your favorite job?
Yeah.
This has been the Daves of our lives.